Chief Master Instructor Kenny Smith, Total Force Training Group. I got one more hand-to-hand video I'm going to put up, then I'm going to finish my workout, and then I may make a couple more. Alright, what we're going to talk about is just working with your strikes. I'm a big believer in striking. Obviously, I've been involved in striking-based martial arts, taekwondo, boxing, kickboxing for about 20 years now, a little bit over. Obviously, I like it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have kept letting people hit me in the face for this long. I'm 25 years old. The first 5 years of my life were the only time in my life that I didn't train in this stuff. So, I mean, you could say I'm biased towards striking, but I have a large joint locking experience as well. I've done a lot of Hapkido. Been training in Hapkido for, a little bit over 10 years now, 10, 12 years, something like that. I'll have to dig out my first certificate to find out for sure. Anyway, been doing that for a while, been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for a while. I've got a lot of joint locking experience, and they mesh. But I'll tell you, anybody that thinks that you can pull off a joint lock on the fly is an absolute stark raving lunatic. Okay? Yeah, maybe you can when it's very structured, almost a Waza training scenario. But are you really getting good training there? Answer, absolutely not. You're setting yourself up to get your ass kicked. Okay? So we need to be able to strike in the middle. What about, people who carry guns? Well, you know what? If you're assaulted at this range, you must be damn good to get to that gun without striking. All right? I really want to take footwork classes from you if that's the case. And if you just think you're going to stand there, then you're either an idiot, a liar, or phenomenally good. In which case, I want nothing to do with you, I want nothing to do with you, or I really want to come train with you. And be prepared to back it up, because I will gladly bring one of my own blue guns and try and take it from you, from this range. Okay? I didn't say I was going to play by any rules either. Alright? We'll make it real. If you're going to train real, or don't train at all. Alright? So, we're going to talk about some striking here. I highly recommend that everybody own a heavy bag and a good pair of gloves. If for no other reason than it's great stress relief. Hitting people that piss you off is actually illegal. Someone makes you mad and you punch them in the mouth, they're probably going to call cops, and rightfully so. Alright, that is an assault. But this bag, I have beat the ever-living shit out of this bag every day since we got it, and it has not once called the law on me, and it's not once whined about getting hit. So, it's a good thing to have for stress relief, if nothing else. Great exercise, great cardio. And if you tie the bottom end down like I have here on this one, it actually gets a lot of resistance and almost a strength type training in there as well, because you're actually having to move that additional mass. Anyway, we're going to cover some basic strikes on this bag, and if you don't have a heavy bag, a lot of gyms have them. I highly, highly, highly recommend getting a good pair of MMA gloves. And even though I just said train real or don't train at all, we also have to train somewhat safely. I say somewhat safely because this shit is dangerous. I mean, when we start playing with guns and knives and hitting stuff, I mean, there is a risk of serious bodily injury, all right, or death. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind. And I'll tell you, broke hands absolutely suck. I broke my hands on numerous things. Some stuff I knew better than to be punching, some things that were trying to punch me. All right, it just happens. Okay, as a matter of fact, I was teaching a Hapkido class in late 2011. And Tweedledee over here messes up and breaks my own hand. I remember what I was teaching. I was teaching something, and it's just one of the breakaways. I remember what it was. For any of y'all who train in combat Hapkido, it was same side breakaway number 3, which I think all the wrist grab stuff no, there's other ways to train it. Should you train wrist grabs? Yeah, it should take all about 10 minutes to go through all of it. But anyway. What this particular breakaway involves is you're turning someone grabbing the same side wrist, i.e. without crossing center line. You're turning that wrist up and hitting him with your knuckles. Well, I hit my partner's knuckles and grabbed them, and I was like, no, you didn't hit the right spot because there's bone structure that you're looking to hit there. And my partner took it as I didn't hit hard enough. Of course, I probably would have done the same thing, so I can't blame him. And pop! Okay. It stung a little bit, but I'll show you how it started it. So I decided I'm going to show it, and I'm just going to let drop it, let gravity fall in the back of my hand, and eventually I did that and I heard a pop. And my hand swelled up, and it was a very painful couple of days after that, for about a week and a half, actually. The girl I was dating at the time thought it was hysterical. She's like, you've been doing this for how long, and you managed to do that yourself? And very funny, and I deserved every bit of the ribbon I got. I couldn't do nothing but hang my head. So you want to train safely, and when you start punching things, breaking hands from punching stuff is so common, there's a medical term for it. Okay? So we don't want that. A good pair of MMA gloves provides just enough protection to keep you from breaking your hand, but it's not so much protection that boxing gloves would forgive you from a lot of things. Like, these are my old boxing gloves. As you see, they are very old, and they give you a lot of room for error, a lot of thick padding. My MMA gloves, on the other hand, not so much. If you don't want to wear gloves, at least wrap your hands. All right? So, we're going to cover just a few chain punching drills. Okay? Obviously, when we're in here, I'm going to go ahead and cover. All right, I am a left-handed fighter. I can fight either side, but I prefer a left-handed posture. All right? You want your shoulders somewhat square to the target, not totally bladed, not totally front either. Okay? I like my feet pointing off about 10 or 15 degrees inboard. That just makes it easier to leg check groin kicks, which point fighters don't have to take into account. All right? You want your hand up. You don't want them close to your face like you're boxing, because in the street, if I hit your hand, I still hit you in the face. All right? So you want a little bit of standoff here. Okay? And you don't want your hands one in front of the other, because that can interfere with your own punching. You want a little bit of stagger to them. Flex your knees, roll forward on the balls of your feet like I talked about in our footwork video. All right? I'm going to use a lot of numbers in this, okay? Just so you all have them. One is a jab, just reaching out there. Very simple. If you only learn one punch from boxing, learn that one. Boom. Just a quick jab. 2 is a cross. I lift up on the ball of my foot, I turn my hip forward, and that rear hand extend. Highly important that you get that hip in there. Otherwise, you're throwing an arm punch and you're just going to piss somebody off. There is a short 2 that doesn't have as much of a hip pivot, but it's still there. A hook. A lot of people do throw these for hooks. Wrong, not hooks. A number 3 is a lead hand hook. I'm just going to lift my elbow if I'm going to the head. My fist is vertical, and I'm going to drive off that front foot. Bang! Very short range punch. Okay? You can see where this could turn into an elbow as well. Number 4 is a rear hand uppercut. My knees are already bent, so I'm just going to turn my hip in and straighten up. This can be done straight in or straight up. Okay? So that's just, if I start using numbers, now you understand what I'm getting at. The first one is your basic 1-2. It's not just 2 punches, it's a jab, and as it comes back, there's your cross. Okay? Anything I'm showing here can be done with open hands. For the street, I highly recommend using open hands. You're less likely to break your hand. So we have 1, 2. Next one, we're going to step in. All right? If you're a right-handed fighter, which I'm sure most of you are, your right foot is going to step forward. Your left foot, rather, is going to step forward to 10 o'clock, and you're going to pivot back. So now you're at an oblique angle. If you're a left-handed fighter like me, you're going to step forward to 1 o'clock and pivot. When you pivot, you've got 1, 2, step forward, pivot, throw that 3. Okay? One more time. 1, 2, step forward, pivot, and 3. Now we can come into clinching range if we want. You're close enough if you've got a judo background, you can get into that. All right? Next thing we're going to work on. This comes from Jiku No. It's a straight blast. It's a vertical fist punch, shifting your weight into it with a slight recoil after extension. Okay? Straight blast, back fist, just by whipping. And once that back fist comes, shoot your 2. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Just two punching combinations that I like to work. For 3. 1, 2, cut the corner. 3. 1, 2, cut the corner. 3. It's a good warm up. You don't have to put too much into it to warm up. Okay? And the last one, straight back fist 2. Straight blast, back fist 2. It's good combinations to work. Now, how do those apply to a street setting? Well, maybe I don't necessarily want to go to my gun. Maybe I don't want to go to my knife. Okay? Maybe I need to soften this target for a joint lock. Now understand, a lot of municipalities, their police departments are restricted from using punches. Don't need punches. Use open hand. Simple. You're not punching the head. You're not hitting the head. You're turning the head. Okay? Maybe I want to get in sight to take them down. 1, 2. When I step and cut this corner, maybe this steps through. I cut that corner, this comes over, almost like a judo throw. What about the straight blast combination? Well, maybe I'm trying to grab the back of an arm, problems arise, just backhand. Okay? This is limited only to your imagination. These are just a few punching combinations, or striking combinations, I should say, that I'd like you guys to try. Last thing we're going to cover is clinch work. Alright? With a heavy bag, it's kind of hard to work the clinch, but when in here, it's illegal in MMA for a reason. If someone has you in a clinch and you're carrying a concealed weapon, the instant they start reaching for that weapon, it's deadly force, period, because they are now trying to access your weapon, and a reasonable and prudent person will believe they're intending to use it against you. Take your thumbs, stick them in their eyes. That's a good start. Alright? Take your palm, put it under their chin, force their head around. Okay? And there are other submissions and stuff we can get into. Those are just two to think about. Okay? Can you headbutt? Yeah. Lift the head, pull it down into the top of your head. But what I want to talk about is knees and elbows. Okay? A lot of people think just lifting the knee is a knee strike. No, wrong. Can you use it for a knee strike? Yes, but it's not very effective. Alright? When I'm in the clinches out here in the open fighting stance, I lift my knee and thrust my hip. Lift my knee and thrust my hip. Okay? That's your knee strike. Just lifting the knee gets that. Lifting the knee and thrusting the hip gets a little bit different reaction, does it not? Alright? If we actually really play with it, alright? So we load it up, step back, just lift the knee. We get a much different reaction by extending the hip forward. Obviously, we'll put more muscle into it. So if you're going to throw a knee right. Next, we're going to talk about elbows. Up and over. Okay? Can you do them either way? Yeah, sure. Up, over, over. When striking with the elbow, there's much debate on what to hit with. My answer is hit with whatever gets in the way. Alright? The point of the elbow is the razor blade, but if you don't hit properly, that's going to hurt you. The front of the elbow, right in here, is good. In here is muscle. That's soft tissue. Alright? You want the hard part. Alright? Maybe you're blocking, shielding something incoming, grabbing the back of your head. Okay? Could be used for the vertical elbow. You're in the clinch, coming up the face, and that logo did not feel good scraping across. Okay? Coming up, lifting the chin. Alright? What about going across? We're in the clinch. Boom! What about that one? Alright? Elbows are good tools. The rearward elbow is illegal in some mixed martial arts games for a reason. Use it. Okay? What about coming down? Can we take this and use it to cut down? Absolutely. Okay? So, here's something work on your elbows with. Up, up, over, over, down, down, up, back, back. Okay? It's not a combination as much as it is a training drill. Working your basic 1 through 4. Add your footwork, some of the footwork drills we put on there. Throw in some knees, throw in some elbows, and you got yourself a pretty good cardio circuit you can work on while still building good striking skills. Get a heavy bag, put some combinations together, and incorporate that into your gun training. There's more to fighting than just any one weapon. So stay frosty, stay in the fight. I'm going to get some cardio in myself, and then I'm going to get another workout out. Peace.